Tired of the same old heroes? It's time to dive into the dark side with these 10 villain and villainous stories that are too good to resist. From devious royalty to misunderstood villains, these characters will make you question who the real bad guy is. Welcome to the dark side of storytelling. In recent years, the villainous and villain genre has exploded in popularity across manga, manhwa, and manhwa, giving us characters who are far more than your typical bad guys. These stories focus on morally complex characters, cunning, ruthless, and often misunderstood, who steal the spotlight from the traditional heroes. Whether it's a villainous navigating royal politics or a villain embracing their power, these characters are layered and captivating. Content disclaimer: this video contains discussions of fictional stories that may include mature themes such as violence, manipulation, and morally ambiguous characters. Viewer discretion is advised, especially for younger audiences. Please remember that these themes are part of the narrative and do not reflect real-life behavior. The recommendations featured in this video are intended for entertainment purposes, and viewer interpretation of these stories may vary. As always, please check the age ratings and content warnings for each series before reading. Villainous-themed manga/manhwa. 1. The Villainous Turns the Hourglass. Let's kick things off with The Villainous Turns the Hourglass. In this manhwa, we follow Arya, a cunning villainess who gets a second chance at life after time rewinds. Using her knowledge of the future, she manipulates events to climb the social ladder and take revenge on those who wronged her. This series is all about strategy, power plays, and seeing just how far Arya is willing to go to change her fate. If you love intelligent villainesses who play the long game, this one's for you. Number 2. Death is the only ending for the villainous. Next up, death is the only ending for the villainous. In this otome, game-inspired manhwa, Penelope finds herself reincarnated as the villainous in a deadly game where every wrong move could mean her end. Unlike the heroine, Penelope doesn't get any second chances, and she has to survive in a world that's stacked against her, packed with tension, high stakes, and romantic entanglements. This series will keep you on edge as you root for Penelope to outsmart her fate. 3. I'm the Villainous, so I'm taming the final boss. Now, let's talk about I'm the Villainous, so I'm taming the final boss. This manga takes a classic villainous trope and flips it. Our main character, after being condemned as the villainous in her world, decides to change her story by winning over the game's final boss, the Demon King. With a mix of humor, romance, and surprising twists, this series is a must-read for fans of villainous stories with a fresh, adventurous twist. Villain-themed manga/manhwa. 4. Reverend Insanity. Switching gears to villain protagonists, let's dive into Reverend Insanity. In this manhwa, our main character is a true villain, Fong Yuan, a ruthless mastermind who uses every underhanded tactic to rise to the top. Whether it's betrayal, manipulation, or cruelty, Fong Yuan fully embraces his role as a villain in a brutal, unforgiving world. If you're looking for a story where the protagonist doesn't just walk the moral line, but fully crosses it, this one's a dark and thrilling ride. Number 5. The Villain. The Villain is next, a manhwa that dives deep into the mind of a cold, calculating villain. In this story, the protagonist is a power-hungry man willing to use anyone and anything to achieve his goals. Manipulation, betrayal, and political intrigue dominate this plot, making it perfect for fans of villains who scheme from the shadows and pull the strings behind the scenes. This manhwa takes you into the dark depths of ambition. Number 6. Overlord. Lastly, in our villain-themed section, we have Overlord, one of the most popular villain protagonist manga out there. When our main character is stuck in a video game world as his in-game avatar, he decides to rule with an iron fist. As the overlord of a dark guild, he commands vast forces of evil and leads them on a mission of conquest. This series is a blend of action, strategy, and dark fantasy, and it keeps you rooting for the villain as he conquers everything in his path. Underrated hidden gems. 7. Beware the Villainous. On the lighter side of the villainous genre, Beware the Villainous adds a comedic twist. Our protagonist rebels against the typical villainous role and flips the script on everyone around her. She doesn't play by the rules of her world and actively disrupts the Otome game plot she's trapped in, making for some hilarious moments. If you're looking for a fun, rebellious villainess who's more about breaking the rules than sticking to them, this manhwa is a hidden gem. Number 8. Villainess in Love. This manhwa follows the story of Yennefer, a villainess who is infamous for her cruel and heartless nature. However, after regaining memories of her past life, she realizes that her actions will lead to her downfall and death. To survive, she decides to change her fate by becoming the opposite of what she was before. But things get complicated when she starts getting involved with the hero of the story, who she was supposed to mistreat. This manhwa blends romance, intrigue, and a fresh twist on the villainous trope, where redemption and love play key roles. Dark Villain Manga. Number 9. Vinland Saga. Now let's shift to the darker side with Vinland Saga. Thorfinn, a young Viking warrior driven by revenge after his father is killed by the mercenary leader, Askeladd. Although Thorfinn starts off as a revenge-fueled protagonist, his violent and brutal journey forces him into morally ambiguous territory. As the story unfolds, the lines between hero and villain blur, with themes of violence, vengeance, and redemption playing a key role in his character development. Thorfinn's relentless pursuit of Askeladd and his internal struggle with his actions give this series a dark, villainous edge. 10. Codebreaker. Finally, we have Codebreaker, a manga where the lines between hero and villain blur. The protagonist punishes wrongdoers, but his methods are often brutal and morally ambiguous. As the story unfolds, you'll find yourself questioning whether his brand of justice is truly justified. This series is packed with action and intense moral debates, making it a compelling read for anyone who loves complex anti-heroes and villains. When it comes to villainous stories versus villain stories, there are some fascinating differences in how these characters approach their goals. Villainesses, like those in The Villainess Turns the Hourglass or Death is the only ending for the villainess, often rely on strategy, manipulation, and intellect to navigate the complex social and political landscapes around them. They use charm, cunning, and foresight to outmaneuver their enemies. Their battles are often psychological, as they weave intricate webs of deceit and control from behind the scenes. On the other hand, male villains, like those in Reverend Insanity or Overlord, tend to rely more on brute force, overwhelming power, and dominance to achieve their goals. These characters often embrace their strength and use it to subjugate or destroy anything in their way, leading vast armies or wielding immense power to conquer their worlds. They don't shy away from using their might to reshape the world around them to fit their dark ambitions. What makes both villain and villainous stories so compelling is how they subvert traditional hero narratives. Instead of focusing on righteousness and self-sacrifice, these stories explore the moral ambiguity of their protagonists. Villains and villainesses often have justifiable motives, making their journeys more nuanced. We see characters who question the systems of power and, in many cases, make the audience reconsider who the true hero really is. In the end, these stories are about the shades of gray, showing us that even the bad guys have a story worth telling, and sometimes it's far more captivating than that of the traditional hero. Now that you've seen some of the most captivating villainous and villain stories, I want to hear from you. Which villainous or villain story hooked you the most? Do you prefer the calculating, strategic villainous or the all-powerful, ruthless villain? Let me know in the comments below. And if I missed one of your favorites, make sure to drop your recommendations too. I'm always looking for new villain stories to dive into. If you love exploring the dark side with these types of characters, be sure to hit that subscribe button for more recommendations, hidden gems, and in-depth looks at the best villainous and villain series out there. Don't forget to like this video if you enjoyed it, and share it with fellow fans who need their next villain fix. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the dark side.